Hey, English learners! Welcome back to the LeapTalk English podcast, your cozy little place to learn easy English through real, everyday conversations. I'm Mary.
And I'm Albert.
Albert, before we started recording today, you were adjusting your microphone and you let out this massive sigh. What was going through your head?
Was it that loud? I didn't realize. I was just thinking about a mistake I made on a design project yesterday. It was tiny, honestly, a minor formatting issue, but my brain spent the entire evening treating it like a complete disaster.
Ah, the classic internal trial. Your brain becomes the prosecutor, the judge, and the jury all at once.
Exactly. And the verdict is always the same. You should have known better. I realized I was being incredibly harsh on myself for just being a normal human who had a busy day.
That is so relatable, Albert, and that is exactly what we are exploring today.
Stop being so hard on yourself.
Not in a lazy, stop trying way.
No, not at all. More like taking a step back and realizing that beating yourself up doesn't actually make you better. It just makes you tired.
If you're learning English with us today, just relax into the flow of the conversation. This episode is perfect for B1 and B2 learners. If you're A2, don't worry about catching every single syllable. Just stay with the mood and the main ideas.
Listen for the feeling. Repeat the phrases that click with you, and stay with us.
Later on, we'll do our signature calm word tour with 8 highly useful words from today's chat.
And near the end, we'll dive into Say It Better, where we take stiff, simple phrases and transform them into natural, elegant English.
Like, instead of saying, I always think about my past mistakes.
You can say, I have a tendency to ruminate on things I cannot change.
And instead of saying, I want to be perfect.
You can say, I am holding myself to an impossible standard.
So settle in. Today we are learning how to give ourselves a little bit of grace in a calm, honest, real-world way.
Mary, I want to ask you something about this. Why do you think it's so instinctive for us to be our own harshest critics? Why do we do it?
I think we mistake self-criticism for self-improvement. We have this deep-seated fear that if we stop berating ourselves, we'll lose our edge. We think being kind to ourselves means letting ourselves slide.
Letting ourselves slide. That means allowing our standards to drop or becoming lazy, right?
Yes, exactly. But psychologists actually find the opposite is true. When you beat yourself up, you trigger a stress response. Your brain goes into survival mode, which makes it harder to learn from the mistake.
So by punishing ourselves mentally, we actually make it harder to improve.
Precisely. It's a counterproductive loop. You make a mistake, you judge yourself harshly, you feel anxious, and that anxiety makes you more likely to stumble next time.
That word, stumble, it means to trip or make a slip-up. It's such a gentle way to describe a mistake.
Because mistakes usually are just stumbles, Albert. But in our heads, we turn a small stumble into a structural collapse.
I notice this heavily in language learning, too. When students block or forget a word during a conversation, they don't just think, oh, I forgot a word. They think, my English is terrible. I'll never be fluent. Everyone is judging me.
Oh, absolutely. They carry an immense amount of pressure. They expect their speech to flow like a written essay.
But real speech is messy. Even native speakers pause, change direction mid-sentence, and lose their train of thought.
We do it constantly, but when a learner does it, they treat it as evidence of failure. They are hyper-aware of their own flaws.
Hyper-aware, meaning paying far too much attention to something, to an unhealthy degree.
Right. If you focus entirely on the one word you missed, you completely miss the fact that you just successfully communicated 90% of your thought.
Is there a specific moment in your life where you had to consciously learn to drop this heavy expectation?
Yes, actually. A few months ago, I was managing a presentation. I stumbled over my opening sentences. My face got incredibly hot, and I felt that familiar wave of shame. My immediate instinct was to overcompensate by acting perfectly for the rest of the meeting.
Overcompensate. Doing extra work or acting in an extreme way to cover up a perceived flaw.
Yes, I was performing perfection because I was terrified of looking incompetent. But after the meeting, an older colleague came up to me. She didn't mention the stumble at all. She just said, I loved how human your opening felt. It made everyone relax.
Wow. What you saw as a disaster, she saw as a point of connection.
It completely disarmed me. The very thing I was punishing myself for was the thing that made the audience feel comfortable. It made me realize how much energy I waste trying to hide my humanity.
That is beautiful. It shows that people aren't looking for a flawless performance. They are just looking for a real person.
Exactly. We extend so much grace to other people when they slip up. If a friend forgets a word or makes a mistake, we comfort them, but we refuse to offer that same compassion to ourselves.
I think there's a daily, quiet habit we can build to break this cycle. It's about changing the way we speak to ourselves in isolation.
The internal monologue?
Yes. When that critical voice starts screaming, instead of arguing with it, you just acknowledge it and pivot.
How would that sound in practice?
Instead of saying, "I ruined everything," you catch yourself and say, "This didn't go the way I wanted, but it's a single moment. It doesn't define my capability."
That takes a lot of practice. It feels unnatural at first because we are so accustomed to the harsh voice.
It does feel strange initially. It feels like you're being too soft. But over time, that gentler perspective becomes your baseline. You start to settle into the reality that you are allowed to be an unfinished project.
An unfinished project. I love that imagery, Albert. We are all under construction.
Now let's slow down and practice our 8 useful words from today's conversation. Our first word is verdict.
Verdict.
Verdict. A verdict is an official judgment or final decision, like the conclusion at the end of a trial.
You might notice your brain always passing a negative judgment on your actions.
You could say, I am waiting for my brain to deliver a gentler verdict.
Or if you are letting go of that judgment.
I refuse to accept the harsh verdict I gave myself.
Our second word is ruminate.
Ruminate. Ruminate.
To ruminate means to think deeply and repeatedly about something, usually a past mistake or worry, turning it over and over in your mind.
If you find yourself stuck thinking about a slip-up all night,
I tend to ruminate on minor social interactions.
or if you're trying to break the habit,
Stopping the urge to ruminate is a daily practice.
our third word is stumble.
Stumble.
Stumble. To stumble means to trip while walking, or metaphorically, to make a small accidental mistake or hesitation while speaking or working.
You can use this to make your mistake sound less catastrophic.
It was just a small stumble. It doesn't mean I failed.
Or when talking about public speaking.
Even native speakers stumble over their words sometimes.
Our fourth word is hyper-aware.
Hyper-aware. Hyper-aware.
Being hyper-aware means being extremely or excessively conscious of something, often to the point of feeling uncomfortable or anxious.
If you feel like everyone is watching your mistakes,
When I speak English, I become hyper-aware of my accent.
or when observing your thoughts.
I am hyper-aware of my internal critic today.
Our fifth word is overcompensate.
Overcompensate. Overcompensate.
To overcompensate means to do excessive work or act in an extreme way to make up for a perceived flaw, mistake, or weakness.
Maybe you work late because you made a tiny error earlier,
I tried to overcompensate for my mistake by working through lunch.
or in conversation.
Don't overcompensate for a quiet moment by talking too fast.
Our sixth word is disarm.
Disarm. Disarm.
To disarm means to soften someone's anger, criticism, or defense, often by being unexpectedly kind, vulnerable, or honest.
Like how Mary's colleague made her feel instantly better.
Her kind feedback completely disarmed my anxiety.
Or using honesty to ease a tense room. Answering plainly can disarm a difficult conversation. Our seventh word is grace.
Grace. Grace.
In this context, grace means mercy, kindness, or forgiveness that you show to someone, or yourself, when things go wrong.
If you're learning to treat yourself like a friend,
I am trying to extend some grace to myself today.
or when dealing with a challenging period.
We all need a little extra grace during busy weeks.
Our eighth and final word is baseline.
Baseline. Baseline.
A baseline is a starting point, a standard or a normal level of feeling and behavior that you consistently return to.
If you want kindness to be your normal state of mind,
I want compassion to be my psychological baseline.
or when measuring your energy levels, my baseline stress level has dropped significantly.
Beautifully done. That's our tour. Verdict, ruminate, stumble, hyper-aware, overcompensate, disarm, grace, and baseline.
Now, let's take a look at a few simple everyday sentences and learn how to say them better, making them sound more natural and emotionally expressive.
Let's start with this one. I always think about my past mistakes.
The grammar is fine, but it sounds a bit basic. To elevate it, you can say,
I have a tendency to ruminate on my past missteps.
or, I find myself caught in a loop of self-criticism.
Here's another very common phrase. I want to be perfect.
Instead of using the word perfect, which can sound a bit flat, you can say,
I realize I've been holding myself to an impossible standard.
or, I'm trying to move away from a perfectionist mindset.
What about this one? I feel bad when I make a mistake while speaking English.
Let's make this more nuanced. You can say,
When I stumble over my words, I become hyper-aware of my flaws.
or, I'm learning not to let a simple slip-up deliver a verdict on my fluency.
This one is tough. I am working too hard because I feel incompetent.
Instead, express that dynamic beautifully by saying,
I notice I'm trying to overcompensate for my insecurities.
or I need to extend myself some grace instead of overworking.
This is the core of what we wanted to share today. These phrases give you the vocabulary to speak about your inner world without sounding robotic.
Exactly. They help you describe real human moments, the late-night thoughts, the sudden rushes of anxiety, and the choice to simply breathe through them.
So we want to hear from you now.
What is one thing you need to stop being so hard on yourself about?
Try using at least one word from today's word tour in the comments section below.
Thank you for sitting down and learning with us today.
Keep practicing, be gentle with your stumbles, and take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.